just had one pass us by. You can see, you guys would have seen that in the camera there. A couple cruising on through. Just admiring the view of Cape Mary right now. Alright. Awesome. Well, we got a couple here now that are just coming by, so that's right up to the boat. And it looks like right up to the camera as well, so perfect opportunity to take some of those snapshots. And it looks like they already made their way on by, but there was a chance there to get some photos. Hopefully you guys spotted them on the camera. There seems to be a few more kind of in this area, so maybe we'll hang out here for a little bit. It does seem like, or I've kind of noticed that when things get a little choppy, there's a few whales that sometimes they like to seek out some calm water. So we've had a little bit of luck right around the launch, actually, just where it's at, and depending on wind direction, sometimes it's a little calmer over there, and loading or unloading the boat, or just as we're pulling out, sometimes we'll see a few whales kind of hanging out in that area. So I have been seeing a few calves. Seems to be lots of them around. We've got a few on camera over the past few days. But yeah, no, they're pretty awesome to see. They're really cute. Steph got an awesome photo of them the other day. They're tough to take pictures of. Even actually talking to Simon, you're not totally sure when to snap that picture, and yeah, it's difficult to get them just as they come up out of the water, but every once in a while you do get lucky. definitely covered some ground here today. Kind of been all over the place. But yeah, it just seems like it's a quiet day. It doesn't seem like any of the other boats out have been having much more luck. Just another relaxed day out on the water. I seen we were checking the maps the other day and we were averaging somewhere around, I was 3 point something kilometers an hour as we sort of putter around here, so it's pretty casual pace, just cruising around on the river here. Now I can see a little duck with some chicks in tow. It's like roughly my 3 o'clock. We'll kind of change course a little bit and try not to stress her out too much. Looks like she's got quite a few. It's hard to count, they're so small. So you can definitely feel we're fighting the current here again right now. If you're out with us last night, you would have seen the water was just like glass, and once the tide started to head back out, it just created a whole bunch of ripples, these big bands of kind of ripply, choppy water, and that's just from all the water rushing out. Like, it's actually pretty crazy to think about just how much water's coming in and out of the estuary twice a day. We even noticed once we're loading up the boat, we go in once the tide starts to head back out, and by the time, for as long as it takes me to pull the boat up, get out and run and grab the truck and back up, the water level's already dropped a good amount where you got to give her a pretty good heave to get it back out where the Zodiac's floating. So when you see the river mouth here, I'm not sure exactly the distance. Might even be able to actually find that out for you guys right now, but It's just it's wild to think that there's that much water in and out. I've seen twice now. There's a whale a ways out. It's quite a ways, but rolling in the water, showing its pectoral fins, and we haven't seen a ton of that behavior. It's kind of cool to see them do that. So it just says here on the map that I have it's roughly half a kilometer wide is the space or the mouth of the river heading out to Hudson Bay, but I can see the rocks. I'm quite positive that it's a lot shorter than that, but even that, I mean, that's a lot of water to be pushing through there. Oh, if we're lucky, you might just have a couple coming, but it's hard to say. They're close and they're coming in our direction. There's actually quite a few of them, but they're just moving along pretty slow. Oh, looks like we do got one maybe that's curious, or a couple. I'll get the underwater cam kind of pointed towards the prop, or they may have just dove too. It's kind of hard to tell right now with the way the sun's at and the water's a little rough. It's difficult to see. We've mentioned it a few times, but this winter, we had a lot of snow, which when it melted caused quite a bit of flooding in the river this year, and it did a lot of damage to the weir and caused so now this year the visibility is not quite as good as it has been in past years, and I'm experiencing that right now. They're kind of keeping their distance. They're not wanting to come right up to the boat. I don't got too much more time before I got to turn too. We're kind of headed towards shore here. So hopefully if I veer off a little bit, they'll start to follow me. This is such a unique experience. I've never done anything quite like it. You try to take moments while you're out here to realize what it is you're doing and just to kind of soak it in, because I know the summer is going to go by super fast. I'll look back and wonder where it went, so kind of got to just soak this all in as much as possible. And I'm happy for everybody that's watching. I'm happy that I'm able to share this with you, this experience. The 6 months that I spent up here through the winter went by in a flash, so I can't imagine this 2 months. It's going to be so much quicker. See Cloud commenting on the lapping water and just the sound everything's making, you know, the water up against the underwater camera, and it's such a nice day out in the view. She's just saying how relaxing it is. I definitely agree. I'm pretty relaxed right now. At home, I like to do, there's not a lot of mountain biking here, but sorry, I like to do a lot of mountain biking and try to get away as many times as I can through the weekends. And I'm from southern Alberta, so it's pretty much just flat prairies. And I don't know, part of the reason, a big part that I enjoy the biking so much is it's kind of, I don't know, you're going and you're whooping your butt, you're climbing up mountains and stuff. It's by no means not physical. I mean, you're tired at the end of it, but it's almost like hitting the reset button. When Monday rolls around, it's time to go back to work, and you'd spent the weekend out in the forest and in the mountains. There's just something about it. I think it's good for you to spend time. It's just like this right now. I kind of get the same sort of sensation where it's just like hitting the reset. It's so nice and relaxing out here. I enjoy diving also when I travel, and once you're comfortable down with the gear and once you find neutral buoyancy where you're just weightless, it's got the total same effect. It's almost like meditation, or what the feeling people get after doing a good yoga session or something. So after 2 months of this, I will hopefully be pretty relaxed. I'm gonna have to try to find out, I'll ask around and see what the behavior is. I just seen another one of the whales kind of do its barrel roll, where you can see its pectoral fins coming up out of the water. It's the first day I've seen it, and now it's been like 3 times I think that I've spotted them doing that. So far, with the short amount of time that we've spent out here, that I've spent out here, luckily I've been with some awesome people that have had some amazing knowledge on Churchill. Like Simon yesterday, he's been coming here for 13 years, so he had some really cool things to say about his time here and just on some of the history of the port and the town itself. Meg Hainstock, who she's spent most of the time out on the boat with me, works for PBI, Polar Bears International. She's got a lot of knowledge herself, and I enjoyed spending time out here with her over this past week or so, or whatever it's been now. And Stefan as well. Uh, Learned a lot from him too. It was very interesting talking with him. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. But yeah, no, this is all a learning experience for me as well. I jumped at the opportunity to come out here this summer and get on the boat. My original plans were to come and see the belugas when I found out about Churchill. That was kind of the most appealing thing to me. And next thing you know, I was out here for 6 months living in a cabin out in the middle of nowhere by myself. It's weird how things happen that way. But and then, I mean, it seemed like an equally unique and awesome opportunity, so I jumped at that one, and it snowballed, and here I am now bobbing around on the Churchill River. It's kind of funny how things work out. I never would have guessed there would have been. I knew there's lots of whales, but it's just hard to comprehend, or leading up to this, and you're trying to imagine what things are going to be like. Uh, Even knowing how many whales there were in the area, you just you're not prepared for it. Once you get out here, and just now looking around, and you can see whales surfacing, in different spots out on the water here. It's so cool. This is such a unique area. I know there's some researchers, they've spent a lot of time in the St. Lawrence River with a population of belugas that are there. And before I arrived, they were here for I'm not sure how long, but talking with a good buddy from town here, he had said that the researchers were amazed at the whales in the bay, just how many there were. They gathered a lot. They said more information in that short amount of time than they could have in who knows how long back to St. Lawrence. So it just kind of goes to show what a unique spot this is here in Churchill. I spoke with some other people that have been on other either working or just been on tours, other whale watching tours, and it's very, can be hit or miss depending on where you are or the species of whale that you're trying to observe. And here I don't know, I wouldn't say 100%. I don't think anything's ever 100%, but I'd say you're as close as you can get. If you come out here during whale season, you're gonna get to see a lot of beluga whales. I have to say too, being out here by myself for the first time, it sure is different when you just interacting. I mean, there's no one here to bounce ideas off of to keep the conversation flowing. I'm told it will come with time, so we'll see, I guess, by the end of the summer how things are looking. But it's also funny, doing this, I wasn't sure how things were going to go down, but it's funny, Simon pulling out the GoPro, just, I mean, even that was different. Having the camera on board here and chatting into this mic, it almost seems like I don't know, you're not talking to anybody. It's weird.